The Darmstadt Madonna, sometimes referred to as a Madonna of the Burgermeister Meyer, was done by Hans Holbein the Younger, who was a German and Swiss artist of the Northern Renaissance. The medium of the painting was oil on wood. This painting was commissioned by Jacob Meyer zum Hansen, the former mayor of Basel, who was also Holbein's early and most important patron. Basel at the time was one of Europe's leading centers of book production, and it is quite possible that this had attracted the young Holbein to the city. Upon the first look at the painting, Mary, with the Christ child in her arms, is surrounded by Meyer family. The crown on Mary's head was an allusion to the German imperial crown, identifying her as a queen of heaven. Typologically, the painting is a judgmental Madonna, or a Virgin of Pity painting. The Virgin's cloak encompasses the Meyer family, symbolizing that the whole family was under divine protection. By the time this work was being painted, Basel was on the verge of accepting the Reformation, and people in the city rejected the call of Mary. However, Meyer was a loyal Catholic, so this painting was a demonstrative expression of Jacob Meyer's confession of the Old Catholic faith. Holbein was seemingly compliant with the Reformers' principles, and this work represented his last Orthodox Marian image. The only reason Darmstadt Madonna survived the iconoclasm in 1529 was that Holbein had taken the painting back to his workshop the previous year in order to rework on it. The three figures on the right from top to bottom are Meyer's first wife Magdalena Baer, who died in 1511, and his second wife Dorothea Kennengeiser, and his daughter Anna. Holbein painted the first stage of his work for Jacob Meyer in 1526, before he left for England. After Holbein returned to Basel in 1528, Jacob Meyer asked Holbein to make some changes to the painting. In a re-edited version, Holbein added Jacob's first wife Magdalena Baer, who had died in 1511, and Holbein also changed Anna's hairstyle from unbound to a rather elaborate plait. Because Jacob Meyer's first wife Magdalena died 15 years before Holbein had started the painting, Holbein probably had never seen Magdalena and did not know her facial features, so this explains why her face is almost covered in cloth. Another major change to the painting was the portrait of Anna. When Holbein first made sketches of Anna, she was shown seated, almost childlike, with long hair flowing on her back, probably signifying her virginity. In the 1528 version of the painting, Anna, who had become engaged in the meantime, was shown with her hair concealed beneath a maiden's cap. On the left side of the painting are Jacob Meyer and two young boys who were thought to be his two sons, and both of them had passed away at an early age. However, some scholars were skeptical at this view because there was a complete absence of basal sources indicating the death of Meyer's sons. Some people thought that the two boys actually represented Jacob's son holding baby John the Baptist, and some others believed that the naked child represented infant Jesus, who Mary has to put down in order to take Meyer's sick child into her arms and heal him.
This work, done by Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh, is called Irises, or by the original French title Les Iris. The oil on canvas painting was done in Saint-Rémy, France on May of 1889 and is currently located in Los Angeles at the Getty Museum. During this time, Vincent van Gogh believed that he had epilepsy, and he admitted himself to a mental hospital in Arles, France, and later voluntarily transferred himself to a mental hospital in Saint-Rémy, France called St. Paul de la Souls Asylum. It was here Van Gogh would spend time in the asylum garden, painting many types of flowers, including irises. While in the asylum, Van Gogh would regularly communicate to his brother Theo through letters about the progress of his paintings. In the work, there are about a dozen blue irises, swaying from right to left, seeming as if air is blowing through the painting. The irises overflow the border of the canvas. The cropped composition of the irises, sectioned into extensive areas of vibrant color, with colossal irises cascading past its borders, probably derived its influence from the ornamental patterns of Japanese woodblock prints. His use of unique angles, upfront views, and strong lines were very apparent. In addition, the element of dark contours in his flowers showed the great influence of Japanese woodblocking in his works. Each flower is either a unique, deep royal blue color or baby blue. Again, we see the influence of Japanese woodblock painting with the use of flat blocks of color from the red brownish soil to the shades of blue within the flowers against the light green background of the grass. There is a great emphasis on design and the simple everyday subject matter. The overall effect is a balance equivalent to that found in nature. The painting expresses nature's power and energy as well as the tranquil state of mind that nature can elicit. Van Gogh himself expressed his deep imperative need for nature in both his work and in his life. As Van Gogh states and nature. If I didn't have that, I should grow melancholy. However, Van Gogh was also known for his thick application of paint on canvas, called impasto. This technique was commonly used by many post-imperialist painters, where the paint is laid on so thickly that the texture of brushstrokes or palette knife are clearly visible, as can be seen on the soil. Also, to the left of the painting, we see a single tall iris that is white. There has been some speculation about the symbolic import of irises in this painting. Some scholars suggest that Van Gogh is painting the scenery while at the asylum to give his life meaning, since he loved nature and to work. Other scholars suggest that this painting is about Van Gogh himself. They state that the lone white iris was Van Gogh's depiction of himself in the asylum, isolated and detached from the rest of the staff and inmates. Such interpretations of the subject are of course completely subjective, and neither Van Gogh nor Theo suggested this is the case in their letters to each other.